All right. Hey, guys. All right. I'm just waiting for everyone to pop on. All right. Hey, everyone. I just want to make sure you guys can see and hear me good. And I want to give everyone a quick second to get in. Just going to say hello in the chat box. Say hello and introduce yourself. All right. All right. So, all right. I'm excited today to share this with you guys. I think you're going to find it really helpful. I'm just waiting for everyone to kind of hop in and join us. I didn't give too much of a notice, so sorry, my phone is distracting. All right, once you get in, say hello, say hi, let me know who's here, who's joining. We have some cool stuff to talk about today. All right, let me just pull up my notes. Cool. And I've taken some notes, guys, in my book so that I stay on track. All right, cool. So as people are joining, I'm gonna get started because I have a lot I want to share with you and I want to make sure I get to it all. So what I want to talk about today, I want to share with you guys why your prospects or potential clients can't afford to work with you, and what you can do to kind of eliminate people that really can't afford your services, that can't afford to work with you, or that think they can't afford to work with you, right? All right, so the first thing I want to do before I dive into that content is I want to share with you, hopefully you guys can see and hear me okay, but I want to share with you guys first and foremost, like why, 6 reasons why potential clients are not buying from you. I want to share that with you first because I think that you guys are going to have I think that you guys will have a good, be able to relate to that, to some of these things. Okay, so number one, and just say hi in the comments as you join. Let me know who's here. Okay, so number one, the reason that they don't buy, the first reason, number one, and these aren't really in any particular order, okay, guys, but the first thing is that they don't understand what you're offering. Sometimes you'll get on a sales call with people or with someone and it sounds or feels like the call is going really well and they seem like they could be a great client. They seem to understand what it is you do, and you guys get to the end of the call or somewhere towards the end where you're going to start talking about sales, and then you know, they maybe say no or they give you some objection, and a lot of the times they just don't understand like what it is you're offering. Okay, because a lot of people, what I've noticed is we go into the sales tactic of talking about the features like of our program or the offer. So that looks like something like, oh, it's a 3-month coaching program. We spend 45 minutes together every other week on a call, and you'll get some email access, and I'll give you some homework. And the thing is that people don't buy that stuff. People don't buy features. And so if you're focusing on the features of your program or your offer, then people might have a hard time really understanding what is in this for me. Like, I'm not sure how this program can help me. I'm not sure that this is the right fit. I don't understand what you're going to help me do. I'm not clear on how you're going to help me get a result. Okay? So the first thing that would cause someone that could be a great client to not sign up and work with you is going to be that they just don't understand what you're offering. You've either kind of given them too much information, or you've overstuffed your package to the point where it's like, I don't understand what this is, you're having a hard time explaining the benefits or the way that you guys will work together, the possible outcomes you're going to help them get. And we'll talk about that too in a few minutes. In a second, because that's a big deal too. But this is what I see a lot of the times in this industry is people are trying to sell features. You're trying to sell the offer. And people don't give a shit about that. I'm going to be really blunt. They don't give a shit about your offer. They don't really care about all those features. What they want to know is, how are you going to specifically help me? Like, what are we going to do together? And then what is the possible outcomes for me? So if I take my hard-earned money and I make this investment, what are we going to do together? Specifically, how are you going to help me get from where I am right now to the place that I'm trying to get to? What does that look like? What's possible for me? What might I walk away with? Okay. And I just realized I am shaking my desk. So let me change that. Okay. So that's the first thing. That you need to make sure that you're being really clear, okay, on what it is that you're offering, and so that the client, the prospect, the potential client understands that this is their solution. You can't just like, I get that we understand what our program is, and we understand we're going to bring people in and this is how we're going to help them, but they need to understand that, okay, because they're the ones that are buying your offer. Right? They're the ones buying your program. Okay. So that's number one. The second thing, and again, I'm just going by my notes because I don't want to miss anything. The second thing is that they don't want it or they do not see the value. Okay. So you may get people from time to time that they're not interested. Maybe you put an offer in front of them that they just don't want. They don't see it as the way they want to work with you right now. So I see this a lot in the industry with one-on-one coaching programs. Sometimes, hi, Victoria. Yay. Oh, cool. Okay. So sometimes people will see that, you have this one-on-one coaching program, and maybe that's not the way in which they want to work with you. And so sometimes when you get a possible ideal client on the phone with you, and they give you this objection, sometimes it's because they don't want your offer. They just don't want to work with you in that manner. Or they don't see the value. And so what that really means is, if it's the first part where, they're not seeing that this is the way they want to work with you, it doesn't mean they don't want to work with you. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be maybe an ideal client. It means that they might not want to work with you in that way. So maybe it means that what they want to do is they want to work with you in a different type of offer, a different type of program. And this is why I highly recommend that you try to offer 2 or 3 programs or 2 or 3 offers, because you might have a client that's going to be a great, phenomenal client. Like, they're ready to sign up, but they don't want to work in that particular program. So if you have a couple of different ways that you can say, here's a few ways we could work together, what one feels really good to you? What way would you like to work with me? And you kind of leave it up to them to choose. What's going to happen is, they're not only going to feel like you just sort of customized it for them, but they're going to feel like that they get to pick a way that feels good for them. And so that's the first part of this 2-part, right? So the second one, if you're just joining, the second one is that I'm going over the 6 reasons that people might not buy. And then I'm going to talk about why you're attracting people that can't afford you and how to kind of fix that. So the first reason that we talked about was that they don't understand what it is you're offering. You need to learn how to explain it better, okay? You can go back and watch the replay for that, because that was some good stuff. But the second reason they don't buy, and this is what we're talking about now, is kind of a 2-part, where they don't want what you're offering or they don't see the value. So if someone doesn't want what you're offering, again, like I just said, it could just be the way that you're positioning your offer. It could be the offer itself, meaning maybe they don't want one-on-one coaching for 3 months, or maybe they don't want it for 6 months, right? Maybe they don't want a group program program, or maybe they don't want to do a year-long mastermind with you, right? Like they don't want to spread it out that long. Or maybe you're offering like a VIP day and they're feeling like that's too much for me. I'm not there yet. I don't want the offer, right? Like, or I don't want to take any steps forward with this. I'm not interested. Or they'll give you some sort of objection. So that's the first thing, is that they just don't want it. And you can really almost eliminate that if you present 2 or 3 offers. So give them more ways to work with you. It's okay to do that. And the second part of that is that they don't see the value. Now, this happens when you focus too much on features. You're focusing on, it's one-on-one coaching, it's 3 months of support with me, it's email access, we'll talk for 45 minutes every other week, right? Like that type of stuff, the features. You're focused on the offer. And people can't see value if they can't see a solution. So if your prospect, your potential client, can't see a solution for the problem they're having, and they can't see how you're the one that can get them from where they are to where it is they want to be. If they can't see that your offer or that you provide that transformation, it's not going to be valuable to them. And it doesn't mean that your offer is not good. It doesn't mean it's not valuable. It doesn't mean that nobody's going to buy it. It just means that they don't see the value for themselves. So if you're getting a lot of that, or when this is coming up a lot, I always tell my clients, you got to slow down and do a check-in. You got to make sure that you're focusing on what's in it for the client, because it's not enough if you know the value of your offer. I know the value of the work I do, and I know how valuable my programs are, and I know, all the different ways that I can do things and support my clients inside my program, but they don't know that. The other part to this is that sometimes we focus too much on what we think they need, and we need to focus on what they want, okay? Because sometimes they don't know what they need, and even if they do, they might be in denial about that, right? They might not be really open to admitting what it is they really need to do, because that's usually the hard stuff. That's usually the stuff we try to avoid, right? So you want to try to sell people based on what it is that they want, and then you can give them what they need inside your programs, right? Inside your offers. But it's not going to serve you, and it's not going to serve your client if you're trying to sell them on what you think that they need, right? So I know when my clients, just to give you an example, when my clients come to me, I know what they need. I know that they need a plan. I know they need clarity. I know they need proven strategy. I know that they need to master sales. They need to get better at the sales conversation, get better at selling themselves. They need to boost their confidence. I know that my clients need that. But typically I have to sell them on the juicy stuff, the things they want. They want to have an email list that's big, and they want people opening and clicking and buying. They want to have automated funnels where they have some passive income that's automated, so they're not sitting at their desk all day. They want to fill their calendar with buyers, and then they want to get them on a call, and they want to close them on the spot and collect payment right there. That's what my clients want. But there's things that they need to do to get that. But if I try to sell them on what they need, then it's not going to relate for them. They're going to feel like, yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for. And then they're going to give me an objection. Okay, so that's part 2, is that you have to help them see the transformation. You have to show them, here's how I'm going to support you specifically. This is what we're going to do together. And then here is what you'll walk away with. Here's what's possible for you. If you commit, you show up and you do the work. This is the possible outcome for you. And that's what we need to focus on. Okay, that's going to help them see the value, because if you can present a solution to a problem that they're having, that's valuable, right? I mean, if there's something, if you think about something you really, really want, and if someone came to you and said, hey, I have a solution, and I also can show you exactly step by step how I'm going to help you get that, that is valuable. People are like, yeah, I'm in, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is that they don't believe you. Okay, so this is the third reason that a potential client is not going to buy from you or is giving you an objection, is because they don't believe you. Now, this happens when you're being, when you're not being authentic, when you're trying to overpromise, and you're trying to paint a picture of like, I can help you do everything. I can help you solve all of your problems, right? And so then you have them thinking like, that's BS. There's no way that you're going to help me do all of that in this little 3-month package, right? So now they start to think that you're bullshitting them. That's one thing. But the other part of this too, is them not believing you, is that you might be putting too much in your offers. So a lot of people think that for their offer to be valuable, for people to buy your offer, that you have to have a lot of stuff in it. Right? You've got to give them so much access to you. You've got to give them everything that you know. So you got to take everything you know and put it into this little package. You have to over deliver, and you have to give. Well, what happens with that is people start to feel like it's too good to be true. And then they start to second guess you, and they start to doubt that you're in fact someone that can help them. And the other thing with that is that when you overstuff your offers and you put way too much in it, it feels like a lot of work for the other person. And they feel like, God, I'm already busy, and now I'm going to come into this program with you, and I got to do all of this. I have, like, this is a lot of stuff. I can't imagine that I would be able to commit to all of this work and get the results. And now they don't believe you. So that is the third reason that someone is not going to buy from you. Okay, the fourth reason is they believe that they can do it by themselves. This also happens when you give too much on your calls. If you're conducting a sales call, you're not supposed to coach. You don't need to give them every strategy that you have under your belt. You don't need to go into solving all their problems, answering every question they have. What happens when you do that is you give unsolicited advice. So they're coming on a sales call for one reason. They want to know if you have a solution to their problem. That's what they want to know. Can you help me? Because here's my problem. Can you help me fix this? And that is all you really need to focus on a sales call. So if you want to go into coaching, you should be getting paid for that. You should be getting paid to do that. Or if you offer little free coaching sessions, then you can call it a coaching session, and then that's what you can do. But when you're doing a sales call, we're looking to figure out what is their real problem and how can I help them? If I can, how? What does it look like? And then we're presenting that, and we're doing a transaction. They're going to give you money for your services. That's a sales call. So you shouldn't be trying to solve all their problems, have all the answers, go into coaching, all of that, because now you're giving them so much that they think they have all the answers now. And now they think, oh, I can go do this myself. Thank you for all those strategies. I'm going to go implement those, and we'll see what results I get. And then I'll come back to you if I need more help. So this happens a lot in the coaching industry because, and I did this. I'm an over-deliverer as it is. And so I used to do this as well on my sales calls, and I didn't get a lot of sales. I got a lot of people saying they loved their session with me and that I gave them so many breakthroughs and ahas, and oh my God, you should book a call with Ann, she'll blow your mind. But I didn't get sales. And so at the end of the day, I spent all this time on these calls, and people loved it. People got great, awarenesses and ahas and breakthroughs, and they were able to go off and probably do some good stuff and get some results in their business. But I wasn't making any money. I wasn't getting any sales. And the reason for that is because I gave them the belief that they don't need me. They can go off and do this themselves, which set them up for failure. Because here's the bottom line. If they could solve their problem, if they could get the result that they wanted, if they could get from where they are to where they want to be, then they would do it. They would have already done it by now, right? They wouldn't even be on a call with you, right? They wouldn't be coming to you for help. They wouldn't be seeking out advice or support or help. They wouldn't be even considering making an investment. If they already knew how to solve the problem that they have, if they already knew how to get from A to B, they would have done it already. So for you to even help them think that they could go off and get a couple strategies on a 20-minute call with you, and now their problems are solved and they can go off and get results, it's just a disservice. So I typically recommend to my clients that you don't do that. In my conversation to close system, It's an 8-step sales system. I've used it for 10 years. I've never changed it. It works every single time. I close 100% of my sales calls. In that system, I have a step-by-step system in which I conduct my sales calls. And it keeps me from going into coaching and strategy. It really helps me stay present in the call and only give what I need to give to make sure they see the value and that they understand that I can solve their solution, or I can solve their problem and get them to the end result that they want. And so you just have to practice being mindful about what you're doing on the call, and how deep you're going into it. Okay. So the next thing, and guys, I'm just following notes because I don't want to miss anything. The next thing is that they say they can't afford it. So this is probably one of the biggest objections that most people get, is, you get someone that says, I'd love to, but I can't afford it. I'd love to do this. Maybe in a couple of months, I don't have the money right now. Oh my God, I would love to work with you, but I need 3 more clients, right? I need more money. Once I have more money, I can make this investment. So here's the thing with this objection, and not everybody agrees with me, and this is why I'm a sales rebel, and this is why I break rules, and I say what I think no matter what other people think about it, because I fully believe in what I believe in. And my belief and my experience is that money is tied to a belief, meaning that you have whatever you believe you have, and you don't have whatever you believe you don't have. I could say today that I believe that I don't have money to go buy a new house. Okay, I could say that, and then that's my belief. So what that means is I told myself, I told the universe, and I told everybody else, I don't have the money to buy a new house. So now my mind is going to focus on not buying a new house. I'm not going to take actions to buy a new house. So therefore, I will never get my new house. Or I could have a different belief and say, the money's not there physically, like it's not in my bank. I don't see it in my hands right now. My bank says $0, right? I could say that, and then I could say, but I really want that new house. So what do I need to do? What do I got to do to get the money to make that happen? And then I can take good old fashioned pen and good old paper, and I can start writing down what are the things that I would need to do to make this happen. And then you're telling your mind, this is a possibility. You might not physically see the money, but it is possible. And now you're telling yourself, your mind, to take these specific action steps to get you to the result that you want. Okay, so, and so that's the thing. Money is tied to a belief. The other thing that I know to be true is that you can find, get, borrow, or earn the money. So I think it's a disservice as a sales coach. I think it's a disservice to tell people, if you don't have the money physically, you can't do it. I think that's disabling, honestly. I think that would be me enabling you to not go for what you want and to believe that what your circumstances is showing you is what it is and you can't change it. Or that you have to settle with where you are right now and not take steps to get what you want. So I don't enable that for my clients. I don't enable my clients to sit in lack or to settle or to not have the things they want. Instead, I empower them to believe that what they want is possible, and all they need to do is go off and take some action steps. So here's what I know to be true. I did not have $15,000 last year to invest in my coach, but I invested in the coach, and I spent the whole year with her. I did not have $5,000 to do my brand website. But guess what? I did my brand website and I paid $5,000. And actually it launched today and now my site is messed up. And so if you're going to my website, it's all mixed up, but we're working on it. Just a little FYI, little update there. We are working on it, but my new website is launching today. And so I didn't have $5,000 sitting in my bank or in my pocket to do that. I didn't have the $15,000 to go off and invest in my coach, right? Like I didn't have that just sitting around. I also didn't have $150,000 to invest in the house we live in. I didn't have that either. My son got diagnosed with a rare eye disease back in 2016, and we were told we had 30 days to get the surgery done or he was going to go blind, and he was 15 years old. We also had to travel from Maine to Canada because they didn't do the surgery here. So that alone was going to cost us $10,000. We didn't have that either at the time. But guess what? My son got surgery of both of his eyes. So the point that I'm trying to get at is you can find, get, borrow, or earn the money. You can find a way if you really want something. And that is kind of the key thing, is that you have to really want it. If you really, truly want something, you can find a way to get the money to make it happen. And it doesn't mean you have to have all of the money. It means that you need the first payment. It means that you need the deposit, right? It means that you have to make an initial commitment and investment. It doesn't mean you have to have it all. So when I invested $15,000 in my coach, I said, listen, I don't have 15 grand just laying around. Can we do a payment plan? And she extended it. Instead of 12 months, she extended it to 15 months. And that made my payments manageable. I was able to do that. Same thing with the brand. I said, look, I don't have $5,000 just laying around to invest in a new website brand. Can we do a payment plan? And she said, of course we can. And she spread that out and she made it possible. And I went and invested in the brand. When it came to getting my son's eye surgery, we had to pay for that all up front. I didn't have $10,000. So I drained my savings account. I opened up 2 credit cards and we borrowed money from my son's grandmother. And I had faith that I would pay it all back. I would pay it all back. Right now, the first step was that my son had to get to surgery. And then I would figure the rest out after. And guess what? It wasn't 2 months later that I had his grandmother paid back, my credit cards were paid off, and I had some savings going back into my account. So we made it happen because I believed that we could. I believed that it was meant for my son to get eye surgery and not go blind, okay? So when you really do want something, you can find the ways to get the money. My father was struggling with lymphoma cancer for 10 years. He was in and out of remission for 10 years. And he used to go to work holding his arm up with his other arm, and he would be painting. And he was in so much pain. But he would go door to door around our neighborhood and say, can I mow your lawn? Can I paint your house? Can I do this? Can I do that? For an exchange of money. He was determined to feed us. And as sick as he was and in as much pain as he was in, he borrowed or earned the money somehow to make sure we ate every night because it was a non-negotiable. Okay? So what I'm trying to do is just get you to see this in a different perspective. If someone says to you, I don't have the money, there's one thing that you need to figure out. And that one thing is, do you want this? Do you not have money, meaning you can't feed yourself, you can't pay your bills? Or do you just not have the money for this program? And what you want to find out is if this is something they really want. Because if someone really wants to work with you, if someone really wants to make that investment, then when you ask them that question, they're going to say, you know what? I would love to do this. I don't have the money, but I would love to do this. I want to do this. Then you can say, great. Are you open to some ways that you and I can connect and I can help you find, get, borrow, or earn the money? And if they really want it, they're going to say, yes, that would be great. And I'm going to say, good, let's pull out some pen and paper and let's talk about all the ways that you could find, get, borrow, or earn the money to make this investment. And I want you to just worry about the first investment because my job is to help you make money. So after we get started, you'll be all set and this will not be a problem. So I want you guys to look at this a little bit differently, this whole money objection thing. If someone doesn't have the money and you ask them, do you not have money to feed yourself and like pay your bills, or do you not have money for this? Do you really want to do this? And if you present to them a way to help them find, get, borrow, or earn the money, and they say, you know, I can't do that right now, they don't want it. It's not that they don't have the money. They'll probably go out to eat that same night, or they'll go dancing or have a few drinks with their friends, or maybe they're going to make an investment in something else. It's not that they don't have the money. They just kind of told you they don't have the money for this. They don't really want to work with you. But they're not going to be mean and say that. People will lie to you before they'll be honest with you, okay? Because they don't want to hurt your feelings or feel mean, so they're going to lie to you instead. It is what it is, okay? It's a sales game. It's how it goes. But what I want you to know is if someone wants to work with you and money is the problem, they will be open to you exploring with them how they can come up with the money to make this happen. And that is how you know if this person is really committed, if this person really wants this or not. And at that point, that's when you want to release them from the call, because you don't want to continue to have a sales conversation with someone or try to convince or beg or whatever with someone that is not invested. If you want it more than they do, that's a big problem. Because I want my clients to make so much money and have a total blast in their business. I want so much, probably way too much for my clients, but they have to match that energy. They have to want it just as bad. Okay, and that's what you need to figure out on your sales calls, is how bad do they really want this? And if they really want it, they will believe that the money is there somewhere and they can figure it out. Okay, so you don't have to have $0 in your bank. That does not need to mean that you can't do what you want. You can't have support. You can't make investments. You can't grow your business. You have to stay in struggle. You have to continue to sacrifice. It doesn't mean that. Okay. All right, so the sixth thing, that's the fifth. The sixth thing is that they want it now. So here's the thing. As entrepreneurs in this busy world, fast-paced world that we live in, we don't want to wait for things. I know I don't want to wait, weeks or months to make money. I don't want to wait weeks, months, or years to grow my business to 6 figures, or to have $100,000 year, or to get clients. Your prospects, your potential clients, they want the results now. They want it right now. They don't want to wait. So if you get a prospect or a potential client on the phone with you and they are like, oh my God, I want this right now. Like, I just need to do this. I've already waited too long. I'm not waiting any longer. Let's make it happen. And if the way that you position your offer means that it's going to take us a while to get there, or we got to work 6 months or a year to get you there. If you position something like that and they feel like, I'm going to make this investment and I got to sit around and wait, they have already been waiting long enough. They want to get started. So what you need to do, and what I typically do that kind of seals the deal on my calls, is that when someone comes to me and says, I'm in, let's do this. The first thing I do, I set urgency and say, great, you know what? I know you've waited long enough for this. You don't want to wait anymore. I want to get you going. I want you making money like yesterday. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw you in my cash injection training program. I'm going to support you. And together, one-on-one, I'm going to help you craft some cash injection campaigns that you can go off. I want you to go make some money right now before we even get started with the program or the sessions or whatever. In their mind, they're like, oh my God, like, yes, that's what I want. That is what I need. And that alone is a yes for them. That alone, because they don't have to wait until our first session or the program starts. You got to give people a quick win. You got to give them something they can go do right now to get some result. And I don't expect that you guys are going to go off and help them make money right away unless you're a sales coach, right? But that's what I do. So that's what I give them. I give them a way to go make really fast, easy money. And this is a strategy they can do over and over anytime they want, right? Anytime they need an influx of money, they can use my program and go do that like this, okay? But for you, it might be something else, right? Depending on what you do. But you got to give them something to get them going right away. Like as soon as they make payment, they don't want to sit around. And if they wait too long, they're going to change their mind. They're going to want a refund. They're not going to be as engaged in your program. They're mentally going to check out, and they're probably going to go start looking for something else that will get them a little bit of a faster result. Okay, so those are the 6 reasons that people do not buy when you get them on a call. And a lot of the times I see that these are ideal clients. These are actually people that if you did this differently, if you did your sales call differently, they would say yes, they would make the investment, they would buy, and you would get sales, you would get clients. Now what I want to talk about, because I wanted to go over those 6 things first, because I want you guys to understand that these are the reasons people are not buying. This is why they're saying no, or they're giving you an objection, or they're saying next week, next month, maybe next year, next time. Are you going to run this program again? Like, this is why they're waiting. This is why they're not doing it right now. It's these 6 things right here. It may be one of them. It may be all 6 of them. But these are the things you got to start paying attention to, and you want to tweak these ASAP in your sales conversations, okay? But now I want to talk about why you keep getting clients that cannot afford you and how you can stop this, okay? Number one, the first thing that I see is that you yourself don't believe that you can get amazing clients, so you work with anyone and everyone. I see this all the time, and I was a victim of this as well. I did this for a couple of years in my business, where I would, anyone that would pay me, I would bring them on as a client. It didn't matter to me. I was making money. It was selfish and ignorant because I just didn't know. I didn't know better back then. I was new. But here's the thing. If you don't believe that you can put a good price on your services and get amazing clients to work with you, you're not going to. That's the bottom line. I mean, I wish I could give you some magical strategy for this, but that's the bottom line. You have to believe that the work that you do is really needed and it's really valuable. You have to believe and stand behind the work that you do. I always tell my clients, if you don't stand behind it like you would your mom, if someone was like threatening your mother or, you know, attempting to hurt your mom or your children, you would back them up. You would stand behind that. You'd fight anybody, right? You would stand up against anyone to protect those people that you care about and you love. Your business should be one of those people. Your business is a business and you should treat it as so. And for me, my business is almost equally important as my kids because it's how I feed my kids. It's how I provide for my children. It's how I provide for myself and how I'm able to be passionate and creative and serve a lot of people and have a big impact in this world. My business allows me to do that. But more importantly, my belief in the work that I do and how transformational it can be for the right people is what really drives everything in my business, all of my success. So it really starts with you believing that you not only can have amazing clients that pay you really good, but that you deserve it and you demand it, and that you stop bringing on clients that are not ideal clients, that are struggling to make the payments, or they're in blame, they're blaming other people or things for their excuses for not doing what you're telling them to do, or clients that are not fully showing up and they're not getting the results, because that's a reflection on you. Even though it's up to them to make it happen, it is a reflection on you. They're not going to refer you. They're not going to continue working with you, so you'll have low retention, client retention, and they're not going to give you a testimonial, and that hurts you at the end of the day, okay? So you have to believe that you not only can, but deserve to have amazing clients that are the best clients ever, and they meet all of your requirements and your non-negotiables, and that you deserve and demand those clients. And when you step into that and you start to really believe it for yourself, you will have different clients show up to work with you. You will have better clients. You'll get more clients, the right clients. But if you don't believe that, you're going to continue to get clients that can't afford you. Okay. So the other reason that you get clients that can't afford you is that you're not clear on who your ideal client is or how you can help them. And we sort of just talked about the whole how you can help them and the 6 reasons that they don't buy, right? But here's the bottom line. You have to know who you want to work with, because the best part of being an entrepreneur is that you get to choose that, right? Like when you get on a sales call, they're not interviewing you, you're interviewing them. And at the end of the day, you're going to decide if you want to work with that person or not. And so you get to choose your clients. You have to know who that person is. You have to know who are the people that have the problem I solve. It's really that simple. Who are those people? You have a solution to a problem. Who are the people that have that problem? Go put yourself in front of them. Go find those people. You're going to continue to get people that are not a good fit. They can't afford you. They don't want to work with you. Your offers are not right for them. If you don't get clear on who this is you want to work with, okay? And then you've got to be just as clear on specifically, step by step, how are you going to help them? So how are you going to help them get from $2,000 a month to $5,000 a month? How are you going to help them get from you know, 190 pounds to 150 pounds? How are you going to help them get from their completely lack of confidence to total confidence? Whatever it is that you help your people do. Maybe they are bogged down in their business trying to do everything themselves, and you're going to go off and you're going to take some of that and implement it for them, a done-for-you service. Whatever it is, you got to be able to explain to them specifically, step by step, how are you going to help them get there? Because ultimately that's what they're buying. The other thing is that you have money blocks or a negative belief system. So this was one of the biggest things that I had, because growing up, we lived in poverty. We didn't have money. I just explained how my father was struggling for 10 years with cancer, on and off remission for 10 years. And literally, I mean, he was doing everything he could just put food on the table. So we grew up very poor. You know, my family was on welfare, food stamps, you name it. And so I had this negative belief and this negative relationship with money. I just grew up thinking money is really hard to come by. You have to work really hard to get it. Money doesn't grow on trees. If you want something, you know, you got to work your ass off to get it. And then, you know, if you're going to go get a job, you're going to have to slave and just make a little bit, just enough to get by. You know, watching my mom and dad try to pay bills was stressful. They were so upset. They were arguing. They looked really depressed. There was a lot of negativity around money. And so that had me really think money was a bad thing. Like, money's evil. You know, it makes you unhappy and it causes problems and divorces, and you struggle and you can't pay your bills, you can't eat. Like, life seemed really hard. And there was a lot of negativity attached to money. So you have to change that programming. You have to believe that money is amazing. It does amazing things. If we didn't have money, my son would be blind right now. If we did not have money, my son would not be able to see. He would be blind. He's just a kid. That is awful. If we didn't have money, I would not be helping all the clients that I'm helping right now to make money and get results and have a business and a life they love. If we didn't have money, we wouldn't have a place to live, right? Money is a good thing. Okay. And again, like I said, in the 6 reasons people don't buy, money is tied to a belief. It's whatever you believe. You got to change what you believe when you think about money. You got to change your relationship with money. Okay. The next thing is that you haven't invested in yourself. So my rule of thumb, something I truly believe in and I practice every day myself, is you cannot ask another person to do something that you are not willing to do, okay? If you're not doing it, it's out of integrity for you to ask someone else to do it. So an example, if you're asking people to buy your program, but you're not buying the solution or the program that you need, or you're turning away solutions because you say, I can't afford it, or, you know, I don't have the money, then what gives you the right to ask another person to do something that you yourself won't do or are not doing? Many times when you attract clients that can't afford it, they don't have the money, they'd love to, but, and they give you all these objections, you've got to look in the mirror. You've got to stop for a second and ask yourself, where in my life am I doing the same thing? It's either that you're doing it or you've done it before. So you, in some way, shape, or form, you can relate to the people you're attracting because they're just like you or they're exactly where you were, right? I attract people all the time who have so much lacking confidence. They struggle so much with sales, and that's because that's who I used to be every day of my life, okay? So you have to start to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I showing up in my business? Am I doing the work? When I make an investment, and am I showing up and am I doing the work? Because I have clients say, and people are signing up for my programs, they're not doing the work, they're not showing up, they're not committing. And I say, well, what about you? Where in your life are you doing that? Because here's the thing, you can't help somebody else do something that you're not doing yourself or that you haven't done yourself. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know how to model it. I can model confidence. I can model possibility. I can model success. I can model belief because I'm doing it. I'm doing all of it. I've been there, done that, and I'm doing it. And so therefore, I know how to show up for my clients in that same way. And then I attract the people that want that too. So you've got to start making investments in yourself. If you want people to buy your program, go and make an investment for yourself. Rather it be that you hire a virtual assistant. Maybe you're going to upgrade your system. Maybe you're going to stop saying no to that thing you know you want to say yes to. Maybe you're going to invest in a coach or a mentor or a program or some additional training, whatever it might be. Maybe it's something in your personal life that you're avoiding or you're not doing and you're not showing up and following through, or you're not committing to what you committed yourself to. Look in your life, business and personal, and find out where you're doing the same thing and then change it. And when you do, you're going to see a different type of client show up. I can guarantee you that. All right, the next thing is you fall into their money story with them. This is one I did all the time. I would get on a sales call, and a 30-minute sales call would turn into a 3-hour sales call where we were going down the journey of lack and struggle and, you know, I get it. I know. I've been there. Oh, my God, me too. Oh, my God, I feel so bad for you. I'm so sorry that happened, and pity party, okay? One of the reasons that people don't invest in you is because you're playing at the same level as them. If a potential client sees you as the same as them, meaning, oh, she's in the same boat I am, or, oh, she's having this conversation with me and enabling me to continue on this negative journey. She's the same as me. If they see you in that manner, then they don't see you as an expert. They don't see you as someone who can help them. They don't see you as a coach. They see you as equal to them. Not that you're better than them, but the difference here is that you've got to show up as an expert. You have to show up as someone who says, hey, listen, I get it, okay? Been there. But here's the deal. And then you snap them out of that. You show them a different possibility, and then you show them how you can help them. They need to see that you are beyond where they are in order for them to see that you're someone that can help them. If you're playing and falling into their money story and you're going down that rabbit hole with them and you're spending time on the phone and you're doing the journey with them and you're enabling them to continue that negativity, then they're going to see you as equal to them and they're never going to invest in you. They will never buy from you. Now they see you as like a friend. Oh, I can go to her and have drama talk. They're not going to see you as an expert that's leading the way and can help solve their problems. Okay, when I have people come to me with negative stuff, I snap them out of it right away. I am very honest. I'm blunt. Sometimes I'm brutally honest, but I say what needs to happen to stop that cycle and snap them out of it. Because I don't deal with drama. I don't enable drama. I don't enable lack. I'm not going to deal with excuses. I'm not that type of coach. If you're going to work with me, you're going to step it up. You're going to get out of that funk that you're in and you're going to make shit happen. You're going to do the work and you're going to shut down all that negative shit and move on, because it's not going to get you anywhere. So you have to be that person. It's not easy. Sometimes I still feel really bad because I kind of give a good kick ass to my clients. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I hope I wasn't mean. But at the same time, they come back to me and say, Ann, I had the biggest breakthrough. Oh my God, Ann, I signed that client. Oh my God, thank you. You snapped me back into focus. That's why I do it. You've got to show up as that person. You can't go down their money story with them. Okay. And again, it ties back to enable them to believe they can find, get, borrow, or earn the money. They can find a way to get that money to do anything they want to do. And it doesn't mean it's going to be fun or ideal or that it's going to be, good timing or that it's going to be the way they want it to be, but they can do it. Okay. The next thing is that you failed to provide the benefits and solutions. So the client can see that you're the one that can help them. So again, really what this boils down to is focus on the benefits of your program. Focus on the possible outcomes and the possibility for that client if they come work with you, right? Show them, paint the picture of what it would be like for them to come in and get the results that they want. Have them share with you what that feels like, what that's going to be like, what they're going to do when they hit that end goal. Focus on that and not so much the features, the program, the sessions, and all of that stuff. You've got to show people that not only are you someone that can help them, but how are you going to help them? They have to see the path, the way that you're going to do that for them to believe you can help them do that. And again, that's going to help you stand out, because all the other people who are saying, hey, I got a one-on-one coaching program, come into it, I'll help you with everything. Those people, all those people doing it are blending in. If you can show up on your calls, it's going to blow your clients' minds. They're going to sign up to work with you because it's going to be an experience they've never had before, okay? Here's the other thing. Maybe you haven't set clear boundaries around your pricing or your structure, and so you're too quick to adjust your prices or your payment plans to accommodate them. And I see this more than I would like. I see people saying, you know what, I can lower it for you. If you sign up today, I'll drop $500 off it. Well, that value just went down the drain. And now they're not as committed. They are not going to show up and give their all. They have little skin in the game. They have little skin in the game. The chances of them really showing up and committing and giving their all are slim to none, and you just did that. So here's the thing. You have to price your programs, your offers, your services, your products based on the value, based on the outcome, the possibility for your clients. It helps if you know what those things are, which that's why we talked about that. You've got to know what those things are. But that's what you're coming up with your prices in that way. You're structuring your programs to support that end result, right? If you continue to lower your prices or adjust them for everybody or do the hour, time for money, hourly trade crap, if you continue to do that, it's really hard for your clients to step into something bigger, to step into the bigger version of themselves, to step into a bigger vision of what's possible for them. You're enabling them to keep playing small. I always stretch my clients, right? So I might price higher, but I give them a payment plan to make it easier. But it's still a little stretch. They're still kind of scared. They're still a little nervous. But they got skin in the game, and I know they're going to show up and do the work, right? They're going to show up because they got skin in the game. They need to make their money back. And it's making them take bigger efforts. It's making them step up to something and someone bigger than what they were before they came to me. You're not doing anyone any good by lowering the prices. You're just enabling them to continue to play really, really small and to have really small vision and belief. Serves nobody. And I'm not saying put a whopping price and be ridiculous. I'm saying price based on the value. If I invite someone into my cash injection program where I have clients who go off and make $20,000 in a couple of weeks, I've made $35,000 in less than 30 days. And then right before that, 2 weeks, I did $15,000. My clients are making a ton. My coach made $130-something thousand in like 3 weeks. The money the possibility in that program is invaluable. So when I say it's this much to get in it, it's worth it. It's scary for people, but what's possible is so much more than that. Like that investment is null and void when you look at what's possible in this program. That's just an example. All right, another thing is that you haven't asked the right questions in order to have the right experience during a discovery call. So in my conversational close system, I have 8 steps. I talked about this a minute ago. And in that program, there's a reason that there is a system. And you follow that system because in there are certain questions that you should be asking that are going to tell you what you need to know in order for you to give them a certain experience on a sales call with you. So when people come on a call with me, I like them to feel like it's a trusted space. They can be vulnerable. They can open up with me. I want them to know that I'm here for them. I'm here to support them. I want to help them. I'm not being pushy and salesy and pitchy and all of that nonsense. I'm really, truly here to find out what's going on, and maybe I can help you. And if so, we'll talk about it. If not, I'll direct you in the next step, right? So you have to conduct your call in a way that keeps you focused on just that. If you're veering off and you're getting sidetracked and all of this on your sales calls, people are just going to feel like they had a really good call. You're great. Your program sounds awesome. They had some breakthroughs. They got a couple ideas now. They're going to go implement those. And they're just going to leave the call like they'll forget about it 10 minutes later. The way that I do my calls, people come back to me months. I've even had a year or so later. And you're on my vision board and you've been there for like months. The call I had with you was out of this world. I've never had an experience like that in my life. And I am committed. I'm determined to find a way to work with you. That's the results I get from my sales calls. And that's because of the space I create and the way that I conduct my calls, the questions that I ask, the way I keep us really focused so they're having consistent breakthroughs and ahas. They're getting clarity and awareness. And the whole time I am training them and positioning them to see the value in working with me, to see what's possible if you come and join me, how I can help you specifically. And I'm also giving them the clarity they need, because when they come to me, they don't really know what the problem is. They don't know why they're not able to get results and move forward. They don't know what's going on. And when we talk, I'm able to bring those right to the table for them. Here's why that's happening. This is the problem, and this and that. And they're like, holy shit, their mind is blown. And now they're like, how do I work with you, Ann? What is the next step? I have people that will interrupt me in the middle of a conversation and say, Ann, I'm in. Just tell me what I got to do next. Okay? So the reason is because I structure things in a way to give them a really great experience, so that they see this as it's an urgency thing. It's right now. This is a now thing. I've got to invest in Ann. Okay? The other thing that might have you attracting clients that can't afford you is that you're not clear in your messaging on what the call is about or what program you're offering, right? So the other person wasn't clear when they booked that call with you what to expect, like what's going to happen on this call. This happens when you say something like, I'm doing free strategy sessions. Book a call with me for a free 30-minute call. Okay, there's a couple things wrong with that. Number one, you said free. Don't use that word. You could say complimentary. Don't use the word free. I mean, think about it. You're going to attract people that want free shit. They're not going to come to the call with money. They're going to come to the call looking for free stuff. Okay, so you use the word free. The second thing with that's wrong with that is that you're telling them it's a strategy call. So they're expecting that you're going to give them some strategies to go implement. The problem with that is setting them up for failure. If you are inviting people to a sales call, then you need to let them know this is a sales call. I am inviting 5 people to a complimentary sales call where we're going to talk about the biggest thing or the biggest 2 things that are holding you back and hitting that 5 or 10K month. And I'm going to share with you if and how I can help you X that and get to that 10K month. Okay? If this is you, if this speaks to you, if this is what you want, book a call with me. We'll spend 30 minutes together and we'll get to the bottom of this. And if it feels good, if it's right, we'll talk about how you can come work with me and I can help you do this. You're setting the expectation that there will be a sales conversation if it's a good fit. you're setting the expectation of 30 minutes. So this isn't like a girl chat, 30 minutes. And you're setting the expectation of what you're going to talk about and do on this call. That means you're probably going to get less people that are going to book, but you're going to get people that want that solution that you just presented. They're having the problem you just talked about. They want the solution, and they're ready and willing. They're showing up with the idea that they might make an investment with you today. So they're coming prepared. That is one of the biggest problems I see in this industry, is that you're attracting the wrong people to your call to begin with. And if you're doing that, they're going to come to the call with absolutely zero intentions of making any investment or even talking sales. You've got to be clear in your content, in your messaging, what you're inviting them to and what that is going to look like. Okay? All right, the other thing, this is probably the final thing, and then I can open it up if anyone has any questions. They're just not ready or committed. There are going to be times when you get someone on a sales call with you, and the fact of the matter is they're actually really not committed in their business to the point where they're ready to make an investment. Or maybe they don't want to solve their problem bad enough. This happens all the time too. Here, listen, I've been there. I have been at a place where I've gone out and bought a pair of shoes that costs more than the investment I just was presented with a potential coach. And I said no to the coach, and I took that money and I went and bought a pair of shoes that was more than that. It had nothing to do with the money. I just didn't want that coaching. It wasn't a fit. There are going to be cases where people are just not ready. I've also been there. In the beginning stages back 15 years ago when I started my business, I was in a place where I was like, oh no, I am not making any investments. I'm brand new. I'm freaked out. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no money. I'm just getting started, and I'm not ready to make any investments. Now, that did not serve me because I had the belief that you have to make money before you spend money. And that is not true. You've got to make the investments and spend the money to get the money. So the statement of it takes money to make money is always and forever going to be true. You do have to do that. And like I shared at the beginning, you won't always have all the money you need to do something, but you can definitely say, hey, do you have a payment plan? I can make the first deposit, and then we got to figure out how I'm going to come up with the rest of the money, right? There are options to do what you want to do, but you have to want it. You have to be ready. You have to be committed. Not everyone that you get on a call is going to be in that place. But if you have the right pre-qualification process, and you focus on getting the right people on a call with you, you can really eliminate most of those people that are showing up just kind of, I call them brain pickers. They want to come on and they want to get as much free information from you as possible with no intention to make any investment. They'll never buy. Like, they just kind of sit in their place of consuming information, but they never do anything with it. Those people are not yet committed, and they're not yet ready to go big. They're not ready. And that is the facts. And you might get people that are like that. You might get people from time to time. You won't get much of them if you do this right, but you might get people from time to time that are not really committed. They're not there yet. And in that case, you got to figure that out as soon as possible, because you don't want to go through a whole sales call with someone that isn't committed or ready. So you got to be asking the right questions on your application before they book a call with you. And then when you get them on the call right away, the first things you want to do is make sure this person is committed and ready, and you set clear expectations of what's going to happen so that you can go through your sales process and you can get to the end and have clients say, I'm in. What do I got to do? What's next? Sign me up. And that's the results I get on my calls. Like, that's what I hear every time I do a sales call. That's what I hear. And I'm in. What do I got to do? What's next? I am sold. And so it wasn't always like that, though, for me in the beginning. And everything I just shared with you is really the things that I focused on, and I had to tweak, and I had to work at. I had to practice, and I had to shift my belief system on a lot of this stuff to get the results that I get now when I do sales. Okay, hopefully this stuff was helpful. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, let me just, you can post in the comments. There's a group chat, or unmute yourself, ask the question. I'm happy to take any questions, or if you have anything you want to share or any thoughts, I'm here. I'll answer any questions. Let me know. You can post in the chat box too, if you have any questions there.
Ian.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi. So I'm a divorce coach. I coach women who are going through divorce. I love the idea about giving them something that can help them right away, like your cash injection. So I'm trying to translate that for me. But their problems are all over the board. So I'm thinking I have to offer a lot of different solutions, like maybe after the sales call, maybe I'm trying to find the one problem that is causing them the most pain and say, we're going to work on that right away.
Yeah.
Or do you think maybe having pre-made videos like you have that I can send them to? I don't know. I'm all over the place.
Yep. So I think everyone has that problem, because typically our clients have more than one problem, right? And there's usually more than one thing we can help them with. Like, for example, I could help my clients with a lot of things, not just sales, just a lot of things in general. But what you want to do, the way that you can come up with, like, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't even need to be as big as the cash injections. That's something that I did not offer ever before. I never offered that because I didn't have that. I created that over the past 10 years, and it's molded into that. So that's what I offer now. But in the beginning, it was small things like an exercise or a session with me, or maybe a little mini training that I had, or even an audio that was like really inspirational with some couple strategies. It was really small things. And the thing is like, you can always win if you give them a little access to you. Rather it be through Voxer or a session, like a little mini session with you, or it could be recorded. It could be something like that too, as long as it's really good, like juicy, valuable, like they can watch it and it won't take a long time. And then they can go off and be like, oh my God, like I'm inspired. I'm going to go do these couple things. So it doesn't have to be anything big, but the way that you'll create it is you'll start by thinking, what's the biggest thing we need to start with? Like, what is their biggest challenge right now? And you don't want to go based on what they want, but you want to go based on what you know as the expert. This is something they got to nail. They got to work on this. I got to get this down. And the sooner we start, the better, right? And then you create something around that. And then that would be what you'd say, hey, listen, our sessions are booked out from, in like maybe a few weeks or something, but listen, I want to get you started right away. I want to give you something, and send you something. I want you to go do XYZ or whatever. This is going to help you to do XYZ. And so you share the benefits of that and be like, I want to get you that right away and get you started on that, so that when we come to our session, we are ready to rock and roll. We're ready to like blow this out. And that is really for them. That's like a big breakthrough. So the only tip I have is to try to make it so that it's not too much work, because they're probably overwhelmed and busy already, and they don't want a lot on their plate. So like with cash injection, it is a little more complex, right? Like, you're in my mastermind, you've been through, it is a little complex, and I try to break it down in that first video as much as I can, to keep it simple. But the benefits, a possibility with it, is so big that it's so worth doing it, right? So even if it is a little bit of work for them, if the outcome they can have is such a big win for them. And I will tell you, some people think something really little is a big win for them. I mean, I've had clients come in and said, Anne, if I could just believe in myself a little bit, that would be game changer for me. If I could have a little more belief and faith in myself that I can do this. And so, I mean, if I gave them an exercise that was going to help them go off and change that mindset, that's massive for them, but it's something so little. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have any question? Javon says, will there be a replay? I missed the first part. Yes, I will send out a replay. Good question. Any other questions? Does anyone have anything else they want to ask me, or any thoughts? Anything? The replay will probably go out within the hour. I have to go do my morning yoga, and then I got to check in with my clients. So within the hour, my VA will get it out. So yes, Javon, there will be a replay. Does anyone else have any other questions? If not, I'll let you get back to your day. I just want to make sure you're all supported. Is there anything else you want to ask? Anything else that you need? Did I miss anything? Do I need to go deeper on anything that we talked about? Let me know. Oh, and if you guys are not in, I think most of you are in. If you're not in my free sales confidence winter workshop that I'm doing, oh, you know what? I don't know. My website's not working right now. I'm going to post a link here for you. It's free for 30 days. I'm just doing like a 30-day, I'm doing a 30-day free sales confidence winter workshop. So you spend 30 days with me in a Facebook group. We're doing weekly trainings. We're doing some Q&A, some coaching. The goal is by the end of it, you have more confidence, knowledge, and ability to go off and blow your sales up. And again, it's just free until the end of January. The end of January, it closes and we're going to shut it down. But you still have several weeks to get in and come join us. So I'd recommend you get in there if you're not already. I just posted the link in the comments. If you go to selllikearebel.com/sales confidence winter workshop, you could sign up and come join us for free. However, I don't know if my website is up yet. So I know that my team is working on it. It may not be, but okay. This was very eye-opening. I have a lot of questions, but I'll go back at you later. Make sure you come back to me, okay? I don't want you to have a bunch of questions and not know what to do with it all. I know I gave a lot of information. Make sure you come back. Whether you post in the Facebook group and tag me, or I'm going to send this replay out via email. You can reply to that email, but please make sure you come and ask me your questions. I want to make sure you have everything you need and you're supported, okay? So definitely make sure you do that. Glad it was eye-opening. Cool. All right, guys. I don't see any other questions coming in, so hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, we'll get the replay out here in about an hour-ish. And also, if you go to that link and it doesn't work, it will soon. We are working to get my website back up. So again, it'll be selllikearebel.com/sales confidence winter workshop. It's free. 30 days we'll spend together. I will put this email this link in the email for the replay with the replay, okay? I'll do that too. And just note that depending on when you're watching this, we launched my new brand website today and my website kind of crashed. So my team is behind the scenes working on that. And I've been here with you, so I just don't know if it's up yet, but it will be soon. So keep checking that link, okay? All right, guys. Well, again, it was good to have you guys come connect with me. I hope you got a lot from this. I'll get this replay out to you. If you have any questions, pop into the Facebook group, post your questions and tag me. You can reply to the email that we send this replay out in as well. And by all means, make sure you are in the Sell Like a Rebel community. I will post it here. This is my free Facebook group. You want to be in here. I go live in here all the time. So just go to Facebook, go to Sell Like a Rebel community. This is my free Facebook group. Lots of good stuff happening in there. We have an amazing community. Make sure you head over there at the minimum, okay? Get yourself in there, and I'll see you over there. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll let you get back to your day.